This quick video is brought to you by the Kohdok box of junk. The Lucha Racha edition may be completely sold out, but there's still plenty of copies of the regular version of the box, including a starter deck, 4 booster packs, and 100 cards from games new, old, and never heard of. And even includes a special promo card found nowhere else. Link in the description below. So this is Snapship's Tactics. If any of you followed me before I became a full-time game design channel, you might be familiar with a set of toys called Snapships I reviewed way back. These clever toys involve a series of blocks and additional parts one can use to make unique starships. Originally released to lukewarm reception by PlayMonster, the toys have since been given a new life in the form of Snapship's Tactics, the latest in a line of toy games that seek to convert ordinary toys into interesting games, such as how Gaslands handles Hot Wheels. In the case of Snapship's Tactics, we have what is known as a dogfighter miniatures game. Probably the most well-known dogfighter game would be X-Wing by Fantasy Flight. Unique to dogfighters is that, unlike army, fleet, or even skirmish games, dogfighters tend to benefit from a low number of units thanks to how each one is micromanaged. So even though the Snapship's Tactics game box comes with just one ship per player, it is more than enough to have a good time. They also sell additional stand and card packs for the other ships for people like me who already had a few of these lying around. Now, unlike other dogfighters, Snapship's Tactics is less about predicting enemy maneuvers and more about energy management. You know, like that other X-Wing game. A cool thing about Snapships is that you really are allowed to build your ship however you want. Accomplishing WYSIWYG with these sorts of building toys is so astonishingly easy, I'm surprised LEGO hasn't rolled out a miniatures wargame yet. As long as you copy the chassis build on your vehicle card, of which there are 3 different builds per ship, you can equip your ship with whatever pieces you want, though each ship has a limit on how many pieces of equipment they can carry in game form. Every ship needs a cockpit, engine, and stabilizer card, with room for 2 or more gear cards such as weapons and upgrades. The balancing mechanic for such a free building scheme is that in order to use a part, you must spend your ship's blue energy cubes, and stronger parts gobble up more energy. Your ship starts with a set amount of energy and can recover only so much back each turn, with each upgrade being unusable until the energy assigned to it gets fully recovered. So you could spend all of your energy on turn 1, but that severely limits your options for the next turn. Some upgrades also generate red cubes of heat when they get activated. These are a bit of a double-edged sword because while they cost no energy produce, they get recovered the same way that energy does, but give nothing back when you do so, making them more of a back-end penalty. As for setup, the stands included in the game are actually a pretty nice solid plastic, with notches meant to link to the turning tool, which is also plastic. Movement is done similarly to X-Wing, where you place the template on the proper notch, pin it down with one hand, and move the ship to the other end of the template, again connecting to the proper notch. No guesswork on where the measurement ends. The game also features terrain pieces, but unlike games like X-Wing, the terrain is pretty much all beneficial, providing defense, a recovery bonus, a free move, or even letting you dodge missiles. Considering how huge these ships are, harmful terrain seems like a bit of a difficult sell. To actually attack an enemy, you make sure the enemy is in your front arc and within range of your weapon with no asteroids in the way. Then, pay the energy cost for the attack and roll a number of the special custom-molded attack dice. To hit, you have to roll higher than the shot's difficulty, plus the opponent's current evasion. Successful hits inflict damage, with critical hits temporarily disabling one of your opponent's upgrades. Once you're done doing everything you want, play moves to the next player. At the start of a player's turn, they reset their evasion, resolve the listed number of cubes, and then drift forward. These are starfighters after all, at which point you choose your next actions. But to me, probably the most interesting mechanic are the missiles. Missiles are very powerful weapons, with high accuracy and high damage, but the trick is that they technically take a turn to actually hit, instead surrounding the enemy. This means that the opponent has a turn to try to deal with them. You do not want to be tanking hits from missiles, so the game gives multiple ways to counter them. You could use your standard weapons to shoot them down, or boost your evasion, or try to blow some up by ducking into some asteroids. Feels very Star Wars or Top Gun in that regard. As stated before, the starter set comes with 2 ships, each of which can take on one of 3 configurations, and has plenty of additional parts to work with, some of which weren't even in the original kits. The game also comes with an AI deck where your opponent operates automatically, but I don't know if that's quite as engaging as an actual human opponent. They've made rules for a few other ships, as well as sets to get additional stands and health trackers. As far as my suggestions go, I would love to see an Essentials edition for people like me who already have these ships, as well as stands and dice in an alternative color, maybe as an enhanced version of the stand pack when that needs restocking. I would also love to see expansions that explore the pilots, drones, and Uju tech. I see pilots being nice, flavorful alternative cockpits, drones as a type of special weapon, and Uju tech as a 1 per player item with gold-colored cards usable by all ships to represent the elusive ancient technologies that the starfighters are fighting to acquire. The old Snapships app also had instructions for fused ships, which might be an interesting take to provide cards for those. And at the end of the day, Snapships are still fun toys. That part hasn't changed, and even if you're never really getting around to play it, it's not a total wash. The starter set is a base $80, but there is the fact that it comes with 2 toys that were priced at $20 each at retail, hence the suggestion of an Essentials kit. Additional kits will run you a lot less, and you can buy just the cards and stands if you already own the other kits. Again, as a dogfighter, you really don't need to populate the table that heavily. Heck, the Scout Fighter set adds a whole new set of factors caused by simply doubling the number of enemies to keep track of. Frankly, I'm the kind of guy who loves this sort of creativity, where the strength of something that already exists is leveraged into an interesting game mechanic, and I hope to see more. As you might know, I am a fan of more toyetic styles of games, and I would love it if we got more of these games that integrated them properly. I mean, my channel got its start thanks to one of those. As for how that's going in general, Funko is really not doing the best job of trying to claim the field that WizKids seems to have vacated, so in my opinion, the toyetic tabletop game space is open season. So, that was Snapships Tactics, and until next time, this is Kohdok signing off.